Welcome back, everybody.
Part 2.
Part 2 of episode 2 of Can We Be Friends? I'm Gage Morrow.
I'm Mike Massaro, and it's now dark.
It's now dark. We just came back from a mic, and I got a earful about how to be a comic from some OGs.
Had a little bit to drink.
Had a little bit to drink. Had a little bit to drink. So where we left off last was the Fed and how we've been fucked out of our money. We've been fucked out of our money, apparently.
Yes, we have. The value of our money. Like, still just paper, but, like, we can't do anything with it now. At least nothing of value. And that plus all the... we could go back through the rest of the history, but that's a lot for right now. I feel like I built up a lot of momentum to that, though, and, like...
Yeah, if you really start off in the last part, Mike was very heated about how the Fed has fucked us out of our money.
All right, where were we? We were at, yeah. Okay, so we're at the Federal Reserve
Silver
notes.
Promise notes.
Yeah, so like, it's like getting off of the standard of, bullion, whatever, however the fuck you say it. Gold and silver, hard metals.
Soup stock from
Yeah,
Goya.
exactly, yeah. Delicious chicken bouillon. No, but you
into the Mike Massaro.
Yeah, sorry. You basically like if you follow. Oh Jesus, I'm a little too like.
It's all right. Me too.
Yeah, it's been a long.
Well,
night.
what I was trying to introduce.
We'll get to this another time.
Was cryptocurrency and how we are reaching a new upswing of our currency. It's cryptocurrency is like this revolutionary concept that we get to control our own finances in a parallel economy that is fueled by cooperation, that is fueled by transparency, that is fueled by an undeniable value that is actually based off of math and logic and not off of the whim of the Fed. Cryptocurrency has a mathematical it has a mathematical representation in these networks called blockchains where they reward people with the introduction of currency. So the mint is rewarding individuals for participating in helping the system of the currency move along. So what we know as mining when it comes to cryptocurrency is being rewarded with bits of currency for helping the system push along the verification of transactions. So as you verify more and more and more transactions, you're handed a puzzle that your computer has to solve with only one solution. When you solve that puzzle, you basically get this like lottery ticket for a piece of Bitcoin or a Bitcoin, or I don't know exactly how it works, but I know that it's basically a numbers game. The more you help the system move along, the more opportunities you get to get granted a piece of currency, and that's how they diffuse currency out into the ecosystem.
And the mining process is very costly. I mean, like you have to run like these basically like massive computers. Yeah. And the electricity alone is like incredibly expensive. Mm-hmm. So I
saw a Vice video about a mining operation in Northern Europe, like in the Scandinavian area, and the computers run so hot they literally use like a open hangar in the like almost above the Arctic Circle, where they just like open up the walls to let the air flow through, and that's how they cool down their computers. But
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all right. We don't have to live up to the momentum we built over this. We had a lot to drink. I had relatively a lot to drink, so we don't have to talk about cryptocurrency. What do you want to talk about, Mike? What's on your mind right now?
I
don't feel burdened to talk about the Fed, even though we just
I'm
ranted about it.
Let's talk about some random shit. Oh, you know what I want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
This made me really mad the other day. So I went to Whole Foods, which I don't usually do for the dinner that I was talking about before. And on my way out, so to check out, they make you like stand in line at one of the aisles, and like a cashier, like someone whose job it is to just stand there and direct you to which register it is to go to. It's really fucking useless, and it made me really angry. And then like as I was waiting there though, I looked in the freezer, and there was a box of pizza rolls, but they were like Annie's brand, like the Annie's mac and cheese.
You make me hungry, Mike.
Yeah, no, they were fucking terrible.
Oh, never mind,
no,
Mike.
Okay, so First of all, like there's no flavor in them whatsoever. Someone who's
Because
like
they're gluten-free.
who's a staunch Totino's like advocate, there was absolutely zero fucking
Tostinos.
flavor. And there was like California grown tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I didn't know California grown tomatoes could be so underwhelming. It was
Oh boy.
and then so then the fucking I go and you know I'd stuck them in the microwave and you know like normal amount of time, had them spaced out evenly on the dish like you normally would. Pick up one from the middle because you know in the middle it's normally a little bit colder than the other ones. So right off the bat I bite into it, the back of it busts open and burns the shit out of my lip, and I mean scalded. And you know how like hot cheese sticks to shit? It stuck to my lip and
Like
and
napalm in the morning.
yeah. And so then I started looking into Annie's, and you know it's actually a General Mills sub corporation. Yeah, Annie's is owned and operated by General Mills.
Yeah, but you know that shit happens all the time too.
Of course it does, but if these people don't think they're just getting the chaff of whatever doesn't go into Fruity Pebbles, you're wrong.
Whoa.
That's exactly what it is.
Damn,
It's just
dog.
the other fucking byproduct. You're getting the same fucking shit
It's like
wheat.
the fish sticks of pizza rolls.
Yeah,
You know what? That kind of reminds me of like Unilever.
conspiracy.
Unilever distributes Dove products as well as Axe products. So think about the marketing campaigns used for Axe, like the body spray and the body wash. Very misogynistic, very toxic masculine. Like you spray this shit on you, girls gonna want them to rub their pussies against your clavicles. Meanwhile,
I
a
must
Dove-
have missed that one.
well, you understand.
No, I
basically.
know,
You know,
yeah.
like when you watch an Axe commercial, it's like you spray this shit on you, and girls want to throw their pussy right at your faces. But then you see like a Dove commercial, and they're like, all body types are accepted. Women are brave and powerful creatures. It's like, how can you stand as the distributor of two different soap brands and deliver such different messaging? And the only reason is that you're such a large conglomerate. You control so much of the market that you get to pick and choose who you get to advertise against, even though you're collecting profits from both sides. It's almost like how the fact that like Democrats and Republicans are really not dissimilar. They all went to the same school, they all went to the same country clubs, they all have the same trust funds. It's just they choose two different sides of the narrative to collect money on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, I mean, like
That might have been a reach, but I'm just saying.
no. I understand what you're saying.
Unilever gets
I-
to collect both sides of the female empowerment and the misogynistic.
Well, because that's all that marketing is.
Marketing
Basically, is capitalizing
campaigns.
on ideas and just making people who fuck with an idea buy your product because they associate that idea with your. That's what all smoking is, right?
Yeah.
All the smoking advertisements and even just like smoking in movies and TV shows and stuff like that is just reinforcing, you know, the sort of understood like smoking's cool, smoking's fun. Like
Smoking
you know.
is cool. It's pretty understood. As you
Yeah.
cough with your smoker's lung.
As I've smoked a pack of cigarettes tonight.
Yeah.
But like for Axe body spray, the one thing I'll say is like I've only ever used Axe body spray for two things. That was firstly like
And ass.
spraying a basement to cover up the smell of smoke.
Never
and
used that.
and it's very potent. And then the other one was one of my friends used to get it for Christmas, and we used to draw flaming penises because you could spray it and light them on fire. Did that a few
The
times.
last time I remember using Axe was at a mixer in the basement of my dorm at Cheshire Academy summer program for a I don't even know what it was for. It was like an academic summer program. And I remember we had a mixer, a mixed gender mixer back in like middle school at this Cheshire Academy.
Classic.
And
Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
boots with the fur, brother. You know
Some
it.
classic
Sean
middle school
Kingston, all the
shit. Yeah.
beautiful girls. But I ran up to my dorm room, or like my little summer camp room in this dorm at Cheshire Academy, and I laid my striped polo shirt out on my bed, laden with my prepubescent sweat, because there was no ventilation in the basement.
Sounds like the worst Lolita novel of all time.
And
My prepubescent sweat. Jesus
And I-
Christ.
And I sprayed the ever-living fuck out of that striped polo with Axe, because I thought I need to cover up my prepubescent body odor, because I'm trying to lay some hype with these girls.
I
And
just rubbed some roll-on deodorant on my neck.
oh, that's the thing. that was the move. No, but
Old Spice, baby.
I had Axe body spray, man.
Got me nothing.
And I remember I got Axe body spray from a run to Walmart that we made. I remember we had a run to Walmart where they were like, we were left with a certain amount of money from our parents. And they were like, all right, we're going to Walmart. It's time to buy things. And I bought like 3 things. I bought Dr. Pepper. I bought Axe body spray. And I bought Bugles. I bought
Bugles.
Bugles,
Fucking.
man.
Oh, I could kill for some Bugles right now. I should have bought. I knew I should have bought chips.
I wish you had like a bodega nearby. We can go get Bugles.
There's a gas station on Farmington. It's just
That
around the
counts.
corner.
Don't give away your location. People are going to be clamoring to know where we shoot these things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Beating down my door.
You know,
Oh yeah.
last podcast we recorded, I was blitzed. And now I've had 2 beers and I'm sauced. And I regret entirely my decision to drink tonight.
2 beers.
I thought like, oh, this will be
You,
cool.
you shouldn't say that.
Dude, I'm such a lightweight. You know, it's okay. I'm
just
transparent.
kidding.
My ego is not fragile enough where I can admit that I can't handle my alcohol. I don't drink really.
I respect the
I've been
honesty.
working out. I've been working out too hard. I couldn't afford the calories of 2 IPAs. You know how much I just drank? Like, I am burdened with the fact that I know that I probably drank about like 1,500 calories between 2 glasses. Because it's just
Do you know
liquid
how much
bread.
butter was in the fucking mushrooms I
I
made?
know. Oh, fuck, I earned it, bro. I got abuelitas now. Fuck.
Spanish grandmas.
Yeah. Hispanic grandmas.
Google search history.
Horny abuelitas in your area.
Yeah. That's the ad I always click on.
Dude, I saw this meme where it's like,
I just want some fucking
there are like single,
empanadas.
there are single horny moms in your area and they want to play basketball. And they took like the porn banner ads, but they put like sweatbands on their heads, like a
amazing.
basketball in their hands. Sorry, my girlfriend texted me.
Read it out loud.
Progress is all we can work towards, BB. You're killing this shit. Isn't that great to have supportive partners in your life?
Yep.
Oh, man.
The love of a good woman.
She's a great person. This is probably never going to be uploaded. People were really hyped off that idea that we would be tearing down the
This
Fed.
isn't bad.
No, it's okay. I'll sober up in a second.
This has been pretty fun. A couple good
Can you
cracks.
put it in the... Oh, shit. Okay.
Okay, so
You got to take it over
Federal
from here,
Reserve. So basically what we're looking at here is an independent institution of people who just have decided how they're going to run our economy. And they do it through like basically a Keynesian economic model. And what that basically means is they want to control the boom and bust cycle. So like a natural market economy, you're going to have great booms where there's a lot of investment and confidence in the market. And you're going to have busts and like depressions and shit's going to tank because people are fickle and stupid and, you know, will make dumb decisions. However, what's been decided is that like we're going to engineer the way that this boom and bust happens through a series of monetary and fiscal policies, which basically is code for printing money and spending money and taxing people to spend money. Like printing money, which is what was done for a lot of our shit, including all the coronavirus stimulus shit, all printed money.
Thanks, Uncle Joey.
Yeah, so and Trump printed $4 trillion for
Thanks,
the first
Uncle
one.
Donnie.
So what ends up happening is you know there's 4 trillion new US dollars in the market. So the value of your dollar has decreased. That's inflation, and they use inflation to basically tamp down an economy that's growing at an unstable rate. And by the same
Weimar period.
and oh yeah, but that's the problem is if that stuff takes off, like so basically if you get it yourself into a place of debt and into a place of like, you know, where you can't really like tax your way out of it, so you gotta print your way out of it, then you're gonna have like Zimbabwe where they have like $1 trillion bills that are basically like, you know, you could buy a loaf of bread with it.
That's
like,
true.
And you know, in the Weimar Republic, there people were literally wheeling wheelbarrows full of cash to go to the grocery store to get like milk and eggs. Like it's like that's what ends up happening with high inflation in an unstable economy. But then, but you know that gets like what a centralized currency with these market controls done by the Federal Reserve, quantitative easing, right, changing interest rates and stuff like that to basic. Okay, so now the price of money for lending is, you know, like It's going to go down because we want to stimulate investment, or it's going to go up
Yeah.
because we want people to pull out.
That's the basic balance, right? Is when they higher interest rates, they want to incentivize saving your money more.
Yeah.
When they lower interest rates, they want to incentivize borrowing more.
Yeah, well, and that's the big
Lower
problem
interest
is
rates
who
means that
told
people
them.
are buying houses, means that they're investing in
Yeah.
businesses. Higher
Yeah.
interest rates means they're saving, they're conserving, they're holding back their money because they
Yeah.
don't want to expend that money back into the ecosystem of our economy.
And my problem is who told these people that, like, where in the Constitution is it that this is their job to do for our country?
It's a good point, but also where in the economy did we even have the U.S. dollar? Did the U.S. dollar? Because you just showed me a promissory note.
I agree.
You just
I don't
showed me a
think we should have
promissory
central
note.
currency at all.
Mm.
I think that was a huge mistake that Alexander Hamilton is responsible for. One of the many
Alexander
reasons I
Hamilton.
can't enjoy that fucking dog shit musical.
I mean,
That's right. I said it. Fuck
kinda,
it.
It kind of slaps, brother. I'm not gonna lie.
No. I was forced to sit through that for 3 hours.
It kind of slaps.
It doesn't. It's terrible.
I listened to it on the way to my girlfriend's place.
All right. How about this? How about the fact that, like,
Battle of Monmouth, night
reference-
1776.
like all that is basically like
Propaganda.
the new Star Wars movies.
Okay.
The way that the new Star Wars movies basically just like rewrote a bunch of the classic plot lines and like, but look, there's this one from the old movie. Look, there's this thing from the old movie. It's reference humor for basically a crowd of diehard fans. All Alexander Hamilton, all that musical is reference humor for the New York Times crowd. That is literally all it is. It is just like, hey, you paid attention in history class? Remember this thing? I'm going to sing about it. I'm going to sing about it. And it's just like, it's so fucking obnoxious. It's so fucking obnoxious. I can't stand like telling a story through song and dance that should be told through dialogue. It's lazy fucking writing. And at the same time, you
going to piss off the musical theater.
I don't give a shit. I'm even talking to this musical theater girl on Tinder right now who I really like, and who I was like, who she was like, I want to listen to your podcast. So I'm really sorry, but like that's how I feel about Hamilton. It was fucking awful. It happened to me. I will never let it happen to me again.
Some people could say the same thing about stand-up comedy.
You could,
They're like, why are you pretending to have a conversation with me? We know you wrote all this stuff beforehand.
but the better you get at it, the more conversational you can actually make it, and you can like work your
What
material
about Book of
in.
Mormons?
Materials, what you say. Oh no, but that's the thing. Like spam a lot. I love spam a lot. Monty
Okay.
Python.
So musical theater is itself a genre, is not itself.
No, I'm
bad.
not saying the whole genre. I think it's too easy with musical theater to do it lazily and just make the whole thing some song and dance, look at me production. Like,
It's literally about song and dance and look at me production.
but like you can use the song and dance to accentuate shit. It doesn't have to be all there is. Like it's like like stage and theater has not always just been song and dance. Like what about Shakespearean drama and like ancient comedies and tragedies? It's not all singing. It's like
I will say that I was entertained by Hamilton, I think specifically because I didn't pay attention in history class. And I was like, this is new to me. I didn't even know who Aaron Burr was, let alone that he killed some guy.
good Lord.
I didn't pay attention in history class. In fact, I don't even remember talking about Hamilton at all during history class.
At all? Where the fuck did you?
Oh, man, I went to a math and science school. We cared about we cared about like Fermi and fucking Isaac
Nice.
Newton and what's that other guy who stole calculus? Fucking
the guy that stole calculus.
where it's like it was between Isaac Newton and some other guy, and they're like, well, he
It was
actually
the night
made
before
it.
Pi Day and all through the house.
Dude, I remember. I'm a little tipsier now, but I remember like more than 20 something digits of pi.
3.1415926535897932338462643383279. That's all I got.
50265. Wait. Fuck, you fucked me up because I
Sorry.
always have to say it. 3.1415926535897932338462643383279.
Savage.
I only know a little bit past him. It's really not impressive when you already spell out like most of it, and then it's like
Sorry.
carry on. It's all right.
Sorry to steal your thunder on that.
I used to memorize pi for no goddamn reason. at
7th
all.
grade, we did it for there was a Pi Day contest that my math teacher.
I think I
used to
did it in
run.
7th grade too, but it's
Yeah.
because I found a book in the library where it was 1 million digits of pi through a book where it explains the history of pi, and they had pi in the margins of the book, so it would continue. It would be like one continuous digit
Jesus.
all the way to the end, where it would like the first introduction page and the second introduction page would be like hundreds of digits, and then in the margins it was spelt out, and it would go through the margins of every page in the book.
Did Charles Manson write this book? Like,
No, it did look like a manifesto though. It was a history of pi, and so that's why it was 1,000,000 digits. And at the beginning, on the cover, it says this book contains 1,000,000 digits of pi, and so it would.
good lord.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, but also
That's
unnecessary.
wild.
In order to
Yeah,
estimate the diameter of the observable universe to the distance of a Planck's length,
yeah.
you only need like 20 digits of pi. So the
We
amount of
got that
pi that
shit.
we need, like pi itself, is irrational.
Haha.
So,
Dude, the only reason I memorized that shit was for a whoopie pie and 2 Hydrox cookies.
Hydrox
Yeah.
cookies,
Walmart Oreos.
off-brand Oreo, the welfare Oreo.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's literally not even Walmart brand.
Okay,
like
so
it's like
Mike-
Dollar Tree brand.
We can rant about Hamilton and how Hamilton, the play by Lin-Manuel Miranda, was propaganda.
I
But,
probably pissed
but I
off
need you to-
everybody in New York.
but
that
here's
would
the
ever
problem:
listen to
like
this.
like many Gen Z kids, that's a lot of complaint about the problem, but no solution.
I got a
So
solution.
Give me your
For Hamilton.
no
Or for musical theater? Oh,
no,
'cause-
no, beyond.
Because my solution is like leave the lockdown in place for Broadway. Like that is my solution.
The Fed is the problem.
Yeah,
What's the solution?
the solution is to abolish. Let me say this: the solution is to scale back. Because like it's easy to say like just get rid of this and replace it with this thing, but like what the goal would be, and I think what we're moving towards is to basically phase in cryptocurrency as a centralized currency because it's a centralized, decentralized currency. It's centralized, not everyone's going to use it because it makes sense, but at the same time, it's decentralized because of the nature of the blockchain, because it's contributed to by every individual transaction among the builders and the users and everyone, and it's encrypted in that way, and that's where the value and the security comes from. So it has a real that's where these two things kind of coalesce. Is like, okay, this is an old, dying, stupid system of money, like cash, like in credit too, fucking absolute dog shit.
My
Like
credit score just jumped, so I take personal offense to that.
I have decent credit. Fuck it. I don't
I just
care.
paid off
Like,
my private debt, and my credit jumped, and I'm very proud of
I
that.
hope this makes my credit drop. My electric bill is late right now. Like,
But here's the thing: is the crypto is notoriously volatile. So I think in order for a currency to be practical in use, it not only has to be reliable, and yes, we can try to decentralize currency, but it's so volatile. The price of Ethereum, the price of Bitcoin, the price of Ripple, the
yeah,
price
but
of Doge.
eventually that stuff is going to stabilize. It's still
Is it
super
though?
new.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
Think about how long the dollars have been
it's
around.
being treated like a hot stock right now. It's being taken
Yes,
for a ride by these big sharks on Wall
Speculation.
Street and speculation. You're right.
huge problem.
Okay,
That market
I
economy,
agree with
though.
the technology of
well,
blockchain, though.
Well, so here's the big thing: the speculative market economy, the way that these people are able to keep their wealth and keep it growing in these like hedge funds, basically, it's only made possible by the behavior of the Federal Reserve, like the market stability of guaranteeing that the economy always goes up in value year to year. Like if we don't see 3% growth in the economy over a year, that's what's a recession. Like I don't know if that number's, but basically like they chart it to grow by, and that's what it's done. It's artificially propped up. It's toothpicks and fucking chewing gum. It's the worst foundation to build anything on that you could possibly have. And the issue with the speculative part of it is that when you're speculating in something like cryptocurrency, that's such a valuable fucking technology, the fact that you could drive it into the ground at a moment's notice because everyone on Wall Street decides fuck this, and the SEC and the market is going to back them up on and buoying their net worth over time by doing that, like they can do it. It's set up to be a wealth multiplier. That's it. Like pure and simple.
Okay, so I do believe in the technology underpinning cryptocurrency. I do believe that the blockchain liberates us from some of the less transparent, some of the more authoritarian entities that wield power over us, such as Facebook, Twitter. I would say Instagram, but Facebook also owns that. Google.
Alphabet Corp.
Yeah. I mean, I want cryptocurrencies to be the way of the future, but I, on a practical level, understand that some people want to go to a bodega and buy a 99-cent coffee and not a 0.000003 Bitcoin coffee.
Okay, but so here's the thing with that. Eventually, like if it becomes the standard, that's gonna, like
Now there are some
they're gonna figure
cryptocurrencies
out-
known as Tether coin or fiat linked coin, which is like, so there's things like DAI, for instance, or USDC, US dollar coin, which are economy tethered, fiat tethered coins that represent in crypto what the US dollar is doing in the real life. It's linked algorithmically,
Interesting.
so that, and this is really, it was a invention out of necessity for those who live in states where crypto is extremely restricted, such as this own Connecticut. In New Jersey, I could be trading crypto right now heavily, but on Binance and shit like that. But in Connecticut, they restrict it, and so they've created this workaround called Tether coin, where you can buy into a Tether coin and then use that Tether coin to buy into other alternative markets that aren't necessarily available to you. So I can understand look, I want cryptocurrency to be a valuable technology in our economy. The volatility certainly does scare a lot of people away. Right now, it's still seen as a speculative market and not as like a reliable alternative to currency. But the philosophy behind cryptocurrency, I find, is a more powerful, more potent technology. The idea of cryptocurrency is a more potent philosophy than, and it helps people recontextualize what currency can mean to them.
For sure.
And because there are companies that accept cryptocurrency as payment, and they have a shifting scale of value. But what's interesting is I was listening to a bunch of podcasts on Bitcoin or on cryptocurrency. One of the creators of Algorand was talking. I forgot what his name was. It's like Marcelli or something like that. And he was talking about what currency means to us. And he said that we used currency like the dollar or the euro, the pound, to get away from bartering, which was inconsistent. Because the idea of currency, even as a barter, where you might think a simple barter is like, I trade you a dozen eggs for for you to build a fence or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's a burden with old barter currency. He said you can say you trade 14 sheep for you to build me a house, but I still have to feed those sheep. I still have to house those sheep. I still have to water, give water to those sheep. He said a sheep is only worth as much as you are able to trade those sheep out to those who actually need it. So currency was created as a standardized form of trusted value amongst citizens. To say 12 pieces of silver to me means building, crafting me a table.
Yeah.
Because I know that crafting me a table is just as valuable as a couple nights with this prostitute. You know what I mean? There is a decentralized, or there is a standardized form of evaluating services and product amongst a society, which is why price, you can have deals and discounts and it's a very strange thing, currency. And ultimately, I like to zoom out from what currency we're using, because I feel like currency is a worthwhile fight to have, but more so, I'm more interested in what people are doing for what amount of currency. What are people willing to sacrifice for the little currency we're given, the pittance that we're given by these large corporations?
Fear Factor answered that question.
Yeah, that is very true. That is economy. That show should be shown in Econ 101.
Yeah. Where
it's what currency is worth to us is how many pig nuts we're willing to eat for how many hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, literally.
And that pertains to the rest of our life. How many times can you deal with customer service bullshit and the public at large for how many $12 an hour shifts at Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or wherever. And now with this Fight for 15 thing, the idea that each state has a different economy, so each state has a different standard of living, each state has a different minimum wage, and we're trying to federalize a minimum wage.
It's dumb.
Which it's kind of dumb, but also
Pretty
understand
dumb.
that when minimum wage was created, there was a amendment that says it should grow with inflation, and then Reagan put the kibosh on that. And then
because in
inflation
general,
still
minimum
is
wage
rising, like,
is a stupid
standard of
concept.
living is still rising, but there's been such severe stagnation of wage, and
That is much more to do with the artificial way in which the economy grows than it has to do with like any sort of like wage that's being set. Like, what the problem is that like you won't. Like wage is going to be based on standard of living in the area, a level of expertise, and you know, like the job you're doing. Like what is the output of what you're doing, and how much can you afford to be paid, and based on your expertise, how much should that be for what value you're creating. So like so for the government to come in and say anyone who's working anywhere has to get paid more than $15 an hour is so stupid, because there's no like there's absolutely no benchmark for that value. It's completely arbitrary in some situations, because that person doing that job will not be creating $15 an hour worth of value. There are plenty of jobs in which that's the case. It's not to like say anything bad about anyone who's not working that, but it's the case. And basically if you price that up, it's the same effect as the student loans. Like if the government keeps giving out student loans, it keeps ratcheting up the cost of education, because institutions know that they're going to be able to fucking charge more, so they do. And that's why there's a great article in the New York Times about that. And in the same way, like if you do that with wages, you're just going to start pricing people out of the market, and automation becomes cheaper, and they move whatever they can outsourced.
agree, but also disagree. I definitely agree with the colleges, but I saw something interesting. I went to one of my favorite burrito spots called Hotheads, and it's on 75 in Windsor Locks. Now, I didn't know this is apparently a chain, so it exists elsewhere in America. But this company was pressured by this Fight for 15 movement, and I saw a sign at the register that says, with input from our customer base and from, basically they said, we've made the minimum wage for our company $15 an hour for people who make burritos in like a Chipotle-esque burrito shop where they white or brown rice, black or brown beans, you know, that kind of thing. Here's the thing though. Elon Musk said that prices are simply data that reflects the input of an economics. Okay, I'm totally botching this. Prices are data on what we value in the market.
Yeah.
So what we're willing to pay reflects our interest in the market. And I think Americans have become too addicted to the idea of cheaper is better.
I mean,
oh, never mind. For a second, I thought you had The War of Art by Cal Newport, but you have The Art of War
by Sun Tzu, yeah.
Yeah, so never mind. Anyways, I was distracted. But my point being is, at the end of the note, it says, thank you for paying a little bit more so that our workers can get paid more. Now,
well, okay,
you said that...
There you go. No, I'm okay. I was saying like that's exactly
that, But here's the thing, right? Is at what point in our economic system do we value that our workers get paid more? Now, I don't want to sound like a socialist.
But the value of the dollar goes down. That's the problem. It's like, yeah, we're paying you more. Here's more money. But it's that ratchet, because every time you pay a little bit more for this, something else in the supply chain is going to cost a little bit more.
That's
because
true.
Because that's the way the fucking economy works.
Would you pay $1 more?
It is irrelevant how much more I'm willing to pay, because all it's going to do is make everyone's money worth less.
I know your libertarian brain is. Let me finish my point.
That's just economics. It's not even like.
Would you pay $2
ideology.
more? Would you pay $2 more for an N95 mask if you knew that we could secure the supply chain here in America and not have been fucked out of our 3M deal from China in the beginning of coronavirus? If we paid $2 more for the non-cheap version that was made in China and instead have an American-made 3M mask that was not denied by us by Chinese supply chains at the beginning of Corona when they were lying about their numbers,
Yeah.
and they withheld product supply, would you
Yeah.
have paid $2 more to know that it was made in Minnesota and it could have gotten to our shores a lot quicker than a communist government that was lying about numbers of their own citizens dying?
For one simple reason, yeah, because think of the economic value of having that at that time.
So as a patriot,
No, it has
Personally-
nothing to do with being a patriot.
Well,
It
I
has
say-
everything to do with the fact that if you save all those lives and you get those masks out sooner, the healthcare costs alone that you end up saving the country is exponential. And not to mention that like having the jobs within the United States also resonates out because people make money here and then spend that money here.
exactly. So I
It creates
personally,
real value.
I personally would not mind a higher minimum. Now, minimum wage is the idea of government control of how businesses run. I do take to task that a government gets to control how much it pays its workers. But the idea, simply on the fact of raising the wages of workers to incentivize American business or to incentivize people who have jobs in America, I wouldn't hate that so much, because the idea that like a worker could get paid more to be as part of like an American company.
Gage, it's a great ideal, but
No, I
but
certainly
the way it
understand.
works out mathematically is if everybody gets paid like that much money, like McDonald's is going to start firing people.
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, they're
it's
already
just like,
with the kiosks
yeah,
and shit like that. I know.
because they know it's coming. Because people don't understand that just because something's well intentioned and it sounds nice and it's like, oh yeah, don't you want everyone to make a living wage? Well, guess what? Living wage is going to get higher because look what happens in New York
Yeah.
City. Look what happens with gentrification.
Also, yeah, living wage.
Like,
I take
with rents, all of
I
these
take
are
high-
economic patterns.
I take high. I take very. I'm a little drunk right now. I take to task the idea of a living wage, because a living wage in Wyoming is far different than that in Brooklyn. Like, you can live in a lot of places in the United States on a lot less money than you could
Yeah.
in Brooklyn, New York. Now, how important is it that which neighborhood you live in? That's the question. Is like living where? Living wage, you could live anywhere.
any
for
individual's
a very
choice.
cheap amount of money, but it's like living. But here's the other thing is, I forgot my point, which is that I agree. When you raise the minimum wage, it's like the same issue that I have with a governor governing over a whole state with COVID lockdown, treating Lansing, Michigan the same that they treat Detroit, Michigan. Is COVID simply won't spread the same in a rural Michigan town as it will in Detroit.
Yeah.
And so that the Michigan governor is overreaching with her like COVID restrictions because she's treating every single township and every municipality as if it were the most highly densely populated city. So I agree that spreading an economic policy across the whole country is very hazardous for each state's economy, because each state could be making it on so much little money.
No. It's
like gas
it's
prices
even
in
it's even
Texas.
more. It's even more significant than that, because it's not just fucking up the state's economy, it's fucking up individual people's finances. Like your ability to feed your fucking family changes when the price of bread and milk and eggs increases because the value of your dollar has decreased. Like when you're raising the minimum wage like that, it's a really inefficient way of giving people more money. You're giving them more money that's worth less. And like the market, and I hate saying the market because it's got all these loaded connotations. What the market means is there's a much more efficient way of determining what a person can be paid, and that is what the value of their labor is worth. Like what are they producing? What are they putting in? What makes sense in that context? And the great part of like employment that like nobody fucking seems to accept or understand is that like you as an employee have the ability to negotiate. You as the employee have the ability to not do things and to say no, either you pay me more or you let me go.
It's the basis of union strikes.
Free association of labor, man. Like it's for the free and voluntary association of people. It's when you tie that shit into the states and you have the states making policies that benefit.
This goes to your point, which is the largest proponent of the fight for 15 was none other than Jeff Bezos. Because Amazon as a corporation knew that if it advocated for the $15 minimum wage, it could outprice everyone else in the market by raising the tide of $15 an hour. It knew that it could put over the edge all the other corporations that it was fighting against, because unlike Amazon as a corporation, those other corporations could not afford $15 an hour for every worker they had. Amazon, the multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation, could certainly afford raising their prices to $15 an hour and then lay off a bunch of workers and make those other workers left over work like drone slaves and not take bathroom breaks and like time them when they go take, to take a piss or whatever.
Your mom and pop bookstore can't afford that.
Oh, certainly
And that's
not.
because Bezos is operating on the Chinese model of business. Like, the reason he's monitoring his employees and he's working them like they're not even human, and he's not allowing them to go to the bathroom or do any of these things, and like is abusing their rights, is because he's not an American businessman. He's a global businessman. And the most efficient model of business in the world is the Chinese model, where you abuse the shit out of slave workers.
We take advantage of the fact that our American legislative system, as bad as it works and as rickety and rusty as it works, it still has to listen to its constituency on some level, even if it's just to appease the masses and like appease crocodile tears, as the American public. Our constituency, our politicians still have to in some way listen to us.
What it really means is that
no
we stop them from doing things. I mean, that's really what's good about our system, is that we won't make up our minds. We're so bad at choosing what the fuck we want because these people are just talking shit at us left and right. So we end up going back and forth, splitting the House, splitting Congress from the presidency, barely getting majorities, because we don't actually want them to do anything. Because the more they do, the more destructive it's going to get. That's our best check on them, is to keep them fucking gridlocked. Like,
our ignorance is our salvation. It's like not knowing where we want to lie one day from the next. And it's crazy how like our electorate has splits itself up too, because I was listening to something that was pretty profound from Sager and Jetty from The Hill, and he said that no more than it has been today that the American public votes on an anti-policy system, wherein we vote for Republican because we feel that the country is full of Antifa, or we vote for Democrat because we think the country is full of white supremacists, and that we don't really care what the policies of our people are. It's just that we're afraid of the other guy taking over our government, and whoever we construct the other guy to be, who's been designated by our party's propaganda, do we then do we really believe there are 7.5 million white supremacists in the country? And the people on the right, do we really believe that there are 7.5 million Antifa agents in black masks and black clothes running around ready to knock people with bike locks and bike chains? Like, do you really think that shit's real, or do you think that most people agree on most things most of the time because most people are the fucking same?
They just want to do their shit.
We just
want to
get paid, have something left for retirement, and have our kids have a little bit better of a life than we did. Like, when did we lose sight of the idea of like our family being better because we put in the hard work? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think the conservatives like don't want to pay taxes because they want to give more to the charity of their choosing, and a lot of people on the left feel like there is an obvious charity to give to, and so we should enact policies that draw from our income because, well, don't you want to give to the right things?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you want to give to the charity of human kindness and human rights? And it's like,
the government shouldn't be doing policies like that as like, and goes back to my thing that we talked about in the last half about like a GoFundMe style for taxation. It would basically be like, if you took your income tax, the money that you're paying, and instead of just like it goes into the congressional slush fund and they get to spend it however the fuck they end up deciding, what if, because we have an online society now, you could pay it online and you could basically say, oh, this is the legislative agenda that this Congress came up with. They want to pass this bill and this bill and this bill. And oh, yeah, you know what? I give a shit about the national parks. I'll put $500 of my tax money into the national parks. You know what? Make it $1,000. I owe another $2,000. Clean Water Act. That sounds good. No, wait, there's a whole rider in here giving a bunch of black funding to the CIA so they can bomb Nicaragua. Never mind.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? You
can read it and see it and choose where your money goes.
Absolutely, like, proof positive that the government, our politicians, find its constituency an abhorrent, ignorant, barbarian race of people
Yeah.
The American people are seen as from our politicians' perspective as total ignorant fucks who don't know what you don't know what to do with your money. Let me do it.
Yeah.
Because how quickly do these politicians pay off corporations in the multi-trillion-dollar levels when crisis funds go on the docket for political gain? They throw in a bunch of bills that they've been wringing their hands to pass for the last decade, especially after like the housing market crash in '08. They threw in a bunch of bullshit. They bailed out a bunch of companies, and everyone who didn't get bailed out in '08 was like wringing their hands, can't wait to get bailed out during this crisis.
Yep.
Like Rahm Emanuel said, let no good crisis go to waste. And how quickly they will pay off corporations. But then the moment the American people who have been told they can't even employ themselves during this corona thing, or be like, please give me some money so I can feed my family, they're like, I don't know if we can trust you with $1,400. Do we really know you're going to do the right thing with Fuck you if I'm going to do the right thing. Let me buy $1,400 of cocaine, blow it up my nose, and kill myself because you fucked me out of my job, you dumb twat.
Let's go right now.
Let me do anything I want. You fucked me out of having a job, and you're telling me you don't trust me with $1,400. I don't trust you with my state. What the fuck is wrong with you? You lied about how many people you killed by transferring COVID positive patients to nursing homes, and they have the audacity to victim blame me. Well, if you didn't want to gain weight, you shouldn't ate the cheesecake. Fuck you. And so this idea is pervasive because after the housing market crash, what did? They victim blamed people who sought mortgages that were cheap and government funded and government backed.
Not only government backed, government encouraged and government enforced.
And they're like, well, we don't know if we shouldn't bail out these people who we would be incentivizing bad behavior if we bailed out these mortgages.
You told the banks to give out the mortgages to people you knew couldn't pay them, and you said you'd cover it.
And the bad behavior is not on the poor people who take advantage of a system that lays out a way towards a free home.
Yeah.
The bad behavior is those who know that the free home comes with these deadly contract of foreclosure because they know they can't pay it and they don't ask for income verification and they call it a AAA loan even though it's a double B loan.
Dog shit.
My point being is that we have been, when you talk about nanny state, it's like we're thought of of less than toddlers when it comes to like our politicians. Our politicians have reached such an elite status. They look down on us from their ivory towers and they think, well, these fucking idiots don't know what to do with money. We know what to do with their money.
Because it's all marketing. Everything in our lives as Americans is marketed to us and sold to us and packaged to us because that's our job in the global economy. We are the consumers. We are here to work lazy jobs that pay us a good amount of money so we can come back home to our comfortable places and use all these devices that are made in these shitty places in the world really cheaply to make a shit ton of money for the corporate overlords who've basically engineered the government to continue that trend of upward growth for their economic benefit. It's a fucking system that spins itself and winds itself up and we're all just pawns. Like, we're all just here and we're supposed to be the ones consuming the stuff. We're supposed to be the ones taking the job, getting the money, doing the thing. And, oh, nice, I can buy a new TV. Oh, look, the new iPhone came out. I'm going to get that. Oh, yeah, I'm really happy. This is great.
This has been a really dark episode.
No, it's hopeful though because what it shows you, what it shows you is like we were talking about before, choosing that perspective shift. If you can see that and you can say, no, you know what, I'm not just going to consume. I'm not just going to sit down and watch the news and let them tell me what to be afraid of and what I should do and how I should be dressing and where I should be going and all this. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do to work towards the goals that I set for myself. And dude, that's why I got off social media. That's why I've tuned out of fucking watching cable news. I read the news from all over the place so I can figure out what's actually going on in current events and I can laugh at fucking morons who believe either spin side of whatever the fuck is being said. Like, it is...
Because if it's all, like, if with such predictable lifestyles, like the corporate life, you can really... It's kind of sad when you can sit down with a calculator and figure out exactly how your life's going to turn out. Like, when the corporate life gives you such a predictable path that you could literally sit down with, like, a little TI-83 calculator, do the math, and be like, I will have this much at this age, and I will be able to afford this much because inflation is this much, and it grants me this much of a lifestyle at this point in my life. And it's like,
You're not human.
what's the point of life if you know exactly where you're going to be 20 years from now? Where's the adventure? Where's the you already know the end to your story. You might as well slit your wrist and call it a day.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you know you're going to die with a certain amount of money, you have that much money now. Fuck it.
Write that shit on stage, man. Just live. Like, fucking
Yeah,
do it.
And
Like-
not everybody wants to be a performer. Not everyone wants to be an artist.
I don't know. It's not. I just meant like
But there's going to be something in your life
follow a
that's
passion.
off the path that's been granted to you. And you should be trying to blaze your own trail as much as possible. And I understand that it's comfortable to live in the doctrine, to live in the path that's been granted to you, but isn't that kind of boring?
No one ever grew or got better doing what's comfortable.
Don't you want to just...
That's just curling up in a blanket and passing out. Like,
Don't you want to fucking do heroin or something? At that point, it's just like, do smack and just fucking fade into the non-existent. I mean, I don't mean to...
Jeez, now it's getting dark.
I don't mean to advise narcotics, but I mean, isn't that what you're wishing for? Because every day you grind at a shitty job, dude, I work at a factory where people have been putting in 20 plus years at the same spot, and they're like, I got this place by the balls, I can retire anytime I want. It's like, bro,
Do it.
Do it, pussy.
Yeah, you won't do it because you're addicted to the paycheck.
I would be so much more... That's the thing, man. The old timers are in for a penny, in for a pound. They've been in it, and they have so much built up in retirement that if they quit now, it's like the contract is null and void.
Yep.
And it's like, I would admire someone so much more. By the way, I just realized all your bottles are ordered in
Height.
Height. Yeah.
Yep. I'm really neurotic.
Yeah, you are. I didn't really put that together until right now. That's trippy, bro.
You know what's funny? I was so excited when I got this bottle because it was the first one I had that finally fit and made it perfect.
Man. Anyways,
What bothers me is how the rum bottle has, nobody can see this, but how the rum bottle has like a longer neck than the Hendrix bottle, so it doesn't like
it
totally
doesn't fit
look
the
right.
aesthetic.
No.
But then that vodka one is also short. These kind of, you know what it reminds me of is candle graphs on like a stock market. The opening and closing position within 15-minute candles.
Yeah.
This
We
is
have
totally
Hendrix
off camera,
gin.
so it literally has nothing to do with what you could see. But going back to my point, which is that these people have these illusions of goals and milestones in their life where they're like, oh, I'm gonna have $1 million in my 401k and I can live, but like, then what if you get a brain aneurysm at the age of 55 and a half?
Wasted.
There was someone at my job who barely retired recently and then died from double cancer. He got cancer, went back to the job that gave him cancer.
Double cancer.
Got cancer again.
Damn.
Retired early. Died recently. Rest in peace.
Multiple. Poor guy. Jesus.
Different cancers too. Like the one was like lung and then one was like thyroid or some shit like that. So it's like you have to consider if every day you're going to die. At a certain point, yeah, you got kids, you got to pay off bills and shit like that. But that's why, like, wear a condom. Plan out your life. You know what I mean? It's like we have too much technology. Or use
Or
an
don't.
use an IUD or like birth control or something. But like
Pull out.
really consider like your actions have consequences, and some consequences are much more longer reaching. And are you happy with the life that you have? And if not, why aren't you doing everything you can to have a different life? And I know people are like, well, you have the privilege. You could just quit. At a certain point, I mean, I know it comes down to like this philosophical moral issue of like, what do you give up on? It's like, do you turn your back on your family? But it's like, at a certain point, the fuck do you have to lose? If every day is miserable for you, like, is it more painful to try to go against the path that was driven for you that's already miserable than it is to be miserable every single day?
Yeah, I mean, you like the worst that happens is you try it and you fail and you're still back to where you were. Like, but you actually try and you'll find that, like, even when you try and fail, it's something that you're passionate about. That feels better than not doing it at all.
But to some people, it's not. Some people, they can't handle the fact that they lost and that they tried, because it's like,
it's ego. You gotta
at
get
least
past
if you
that.
didn't try, the failure can be chalked up to that's just my life. But if you try and you fail, sometimes to people that's more devastating than a lifetime of misery.
That's immature.
It is
I
immature.
think that's an immature
It
perspective.
certainly is, but
I used to feel that way a lot. Like that was part of the reason that I like stopped doing comedy for that like long hiatus.
yeah, man,
Like,
I suck at comedy still. But there's like joyful spurts of inspiration where I'm like, ooh, I learned something. I just got better. You know what I mean? But it's such a little doot, and it's like, oh, that's cute. Meanwhile, somebody who's like made it up here. But that's why you only have to compare yourself to what you were like a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago. It's like I'm so much better of a comedian now than I ever was when I started.
Yep.
But compared to what I will be is like nothing. So the excitement of me, of these small feats paling in comparison to like what I will be, it makes me really excited. And I learned today, just don't drink before you set. Like, I can't handle my alcohol, so just don't drink.
Important lesson to learn if
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
an
handle
important lesson
it.
for learn for me.
Yeah.
I have no tolerance at all. So I get to enjoy my drinking, but off stage when I'm not working. This is work. This is practice. This is scrimmage time to learn and get better at the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What's something goofy we can talk about? I feel like it's been very dour.
Yeah. It started off funny, then it got really serious, and
fuck
then
the Fed, and then it's like we're all slaves to the economy. We're all gonna die anyway, so what doesn't matter? Just let your rest and do smack.
literally. Fun stories. That's not that funny. I called a woman a dumb cunt today because she crossed the street
Yeah,
during a
you
red
did.
light. And
Misogyny's alive and well. In
it
Michael
wasn't.
Sarah's
It's not
brain.
misogyny. It was just the first thing
I
that
didn't know
popped
she
into
was
my
a cunt
head.
until she turned around, and then she looked at me with her dumb cunt
She
face.
was just a person in the road when the light was green and I wanted to go. So I just yelled, "You dumb cunt!"
But where were
and
you going to, Mike?
Home. From work.
Was home really waiting for you?
Hey, was I going home? I don't know where I was going.
Mm.
No, I was. Yeah. You know, I was driving to go
We're
get
in a rush to go nowhere.
to go get the wine to go start cooking dinner.
Okay.
Like I was in
You
a
didn't
rush. I
wanna
had to
be
make
late,
that
your
shit
friend.
happen.
You
I didn't want to be
wanna be
late
late, your
because we had to record and shit.
That's
and like
okay. I had enough time to stop at Dunkin' Donuts. So I don't even like Dunkin' Donuts really,
well, you were on time, so
Well.
it doesn't matter.
relatively speaking.
Yeah, but like I don't know, man. It fucking like the
Life's kind of great though, isn't it?
it is. It's
You
awesome.
kind of like
Like
to fight, don't you?
I wouldn't have said that
We
if
have a
I
lot more
knew my
excitement
window
in our
was
bones
down.
than some people have given up already.
That's true.
Every time I see you angry or me angry, I'm just like, isn't it great that I still have energy to be a little
Love it.
fiery?
I love feeding that because it's just such a fun
Yeah.
like fucking
Yeah, man. Anger is a little fun sometimes. It reminds you that you still have the heart to
yeah.
fight another day.
I'm not a violent person. I just
No.
I just love the words that come out of my mouth.
I've
when
never
I'm
been in
angry.
a physical altercation in my life. I fear
Oh.
every day that I'll get punched in the face because I don't know how I'll handle it. Although I've heard from people that get in fights that they don't actually feel the pain until afterwards. That when the adrenaline takes over, they're just like, I was hit. But deep down
Yeah.
inside, I'm like so afraid of pain and afraid of anything messing up my teeth that I'm like, I don't want to get in a physical altercation because then I might have to go to the dentist.
I fucked up my teeth so many times. It's not even like not from fighting, just from being a klutz.
That's all right. I wish I did chip a tooth off my own like klutziness. I like dropped down at work and I uppercutted myself on a roll of paper and I chipped one of my canines. Although my dentist said that canine alignment is a thing that's like evolutionary based to make the canine the most like interacted of the teeth so that we save our molars, so that like as our jaw slides across
Yeah,
that
they
it hits the
fucked mine
canine
up.
first, so that the canine gets damaged to sacrifice itself for the other teeth.
One of my canines is rotated like 90 degrees.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's super weird.
That shit's crazy,
Right.
dog.
Yeah.
It looks
so,
like you also grinded your teeth.
So I went to the dentist recently and she's looking at my teeth and she's like, "Do you grind your teeth?" And I was like, I mean, I don't know, I guess so. And she's like, "Well, let me put it, you have the teeth of a man who's like twice your age, like from the
Jesus
amount of
Christ.
grinding." And I was like, "Just from the grinding?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's like stress fractures in your teeth." She's like, she's like, "Do you do that when you sleep? I think you need a night guard." And I was like, "Honestly, I do it more when I'm awake." Like, there's all
'Cause at least
day
when I
I'm
sleep, I get
fucking-
to be in a different reality and I don't have to live in my own body.
exactly.
When I'm
Like,
awake, I have
like-
to grind my teeth through the reality of myself and
Like-
my
yeah.
existential dread.
Like when I'm asleep, the people that I'm interacting with are not nearly as fucking retarded as they are on a day-to-day basis.
Cancelled
So like,
again.
yeah.
No, but
No, I will. I don't. I'll use that word.
you
Like,
know, I actually am stressed about grinding my teeth, so I actively don't grind my teeth when I'm stressed. That I keep.
Really?
I'm so because
I'm doing it now just because I like it. I
my
like the feeling
anxiety.
of.
I can't. Even if I actively tried, I couldn't do it because my anxiety centers around my dental hygiene and my dental care. So
Damn.
grinding my teeth is like, to someone who's afraid of elevators, like getting in an elevator when you're anxious. It's like that's not how I roll, man. I gotta like I literally like make an active decision that when I'm about to sleep, I loosen my jaw and I let it rest
Jesus
like that.
Christ.
It's a little weird. It's very neurotic, but I'm very afraid of the dentist because I had like one fuck up when I was getting cavity filled, and now every like any mention of cavity or root canal, it's
Ugh.
like it twists my brain in these knots, and it took me a lot of time to get over my dental anxiety to the point now. But I still am very anal about my dental hygiene, no matter how high or drunk I am. I always brush and floss twice a day. I always brush for like 4.5 minutes at a
You
time with
floss?
an electric. I floss twice a day. I brush twice a day. I brush for like 4 minutes at a time with an electric toothbrush, and I make sure I get around every little nook and cranny in my tooth until I can like roll my tongue over and then feel nothing but slick teeth.
I only floss when I get shit stuck in my teeth. Like, and even then, like, I usually use
I double
toothpick.
floss, especially when I get shit stuck in my teeth. So I'll floss habitually twice a day, but I'll also floss if I eat meat, like steak
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
or if I eat like my grandma just made or my mom just made corned beef and it was fucking
Nice,
great.
yeah.
But I still floss then.
I like the
But it's also like I know like my teeth are gonna decay and become nothing when I'm old, and it's like kind of crazy.
What's
It's
the
like
point?
I'm keeping it up while I'm young because it's like the same reason I go to the gym now is because like I see people who deteriorate at the age of 40. And it's like 50 today isn't what 50 used to be.
that's gonna be me.
No, but it doesn't have to be, man. That's what I'm saying.
I
Is like
do not care.
this is you're a battleship that's chugging along to the horizon. But if you were to change your life, if you were to change course 2.5 degrees northwest, you could be in a so much different place by the time you're 50 as now, just by building a small habit. Like
Cutting out smoking, I think that's a little bit more than a 2-degree shift. I
mean,
think
you
that's
think
like
it
a
is,
fucking
but
full
like
180.
not paying $10 every 3 times a week is a
Money
lot.
money means absolutely nothing.
Well,
to me.
obviously, we realize that
Like-
smoking
like-
cigarettes is the only joy we get out of our economy. anymore.
Yeah.
But-
Here I am railing against nihilism, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go stand outside and smoke because money means nothing.
But that's the thing is, the beauty of it is no one gives a fuck. Like, no, you could smoke until your deathbed, and no one gives a fuck. So why not just not smoke?
Because I give a fuck. I like it.
Do you like it, though?
For the first half of every cigarette, yeah, I love it.
Okay, but is the cigarette that you smoke today feels as good as the second or
No,
third
never.
cigarette? So why not just stop? It stopped giving you the joy that it gave you when you were a teenager and you thought you were cool smoking cigs behind the church.
I
So
didn't
why
smoke as a
smoke it-
teenager.
Well,
I didn't start smoking until college.
stop ruining my point, Massaro. You get my point. It's
But this is for me.
you're
Like,
chasing
I don't
the
want to
dragon,
quit
Massaro.
smoking.
You're never gonna. When you puff, you're expecting it to feel like that time that you felt the best when you
See,
smoking
hold on,
cigarettes.
but see, for me, that time happens frequently. I get that all the time. But like, so if I'm smoking, like,
You're a
like,
slave
you
to
know what I
the
mean?
cigarettes, just like the American
Like,
public is a slave to the paycheck.
my second to like sixth cigarette of the day is like nothing. Like, but like that first one, or like if I have a few drinks, that one right after a few drinks, or after I have a big meal and a few drinks, that one, oh, that hits perfect. I wouldn't trade that shit for anything.
Dude, you know what?
I
feels
tanked a
really good?
relationship of 3 years over smoking. Like,
You know what feels really good is when you can do a push-up without wheezing.
I can do a push-up. I'll do one right now without wheezing.
This is what toxic masculinity is, folks. Tuck that ass in, Massaro. Come on. There you go. Nose to the ground. Folks, this is the new Toxic Masculinity podcast with Mike Massaro and Gage Morrow.
Look at that.
This man's about to pop a blood vessel.
Not at all. I'm not even out of breath. I smoke a pack a day.
Okay.
It's
Valid point.
actually, I'm down to like a half a pack a
You're a
day.
libertarian. I'll let you live the life that you want to live. I'm just saying
I
that
do get winded walking up the stairs sometimes.
I'm just saying that I am a longevity guy.
Longevity guy.
I'm definitely getting, dude, if you listen to what
So bad. I'm sorry.
you listen to what like smart people are into nowadays, they're talking about having the CDC classify aging as a disease. All the smartest people
heard
right
about
now,
that. I've heard that
Elon
on
Musk,
JRE.
Vitalik Buterin,
That's psychotic. I think,
founder of the Nod, man. I mean, they're on some higher end shit, dude.
why do we want to live forever,
They
though?
have-
I don't get it.
They have glimpsed the existential dread of automation. They've glimpsed the existential dread of AI, and they realize that we humans are bound by our corporal vessels to this existential dread of existing as a human for only up to maybe 100 years at most.
That's what makes it beautiful.
Does it make it beautiful?
Yes, dude. That's where art comes from.
We don't
That's
have
where
to
like
live forever, but could we add like 50 years and still enjoy the limited lifetime that we have?
I don't know.
Because
I
it is
see the
still
way
limited. It could
people
always
get.
be finite. It could always be finite, but you have to change your perspective on. If I could add 50 years to my life, I would still appreciate life for what it is because I knew I would die at 150.
Yeah, but is it 50 years that are like 70 to 90?
But that's why they're. So this is the thing: is they're trying
'Cause
to.
I don't want to live 70 to 90. That looks like it sucks.
You
Like,
don't want to live 70 to 90 as it's been lived before technological advancement. Before you have, by the way, fuck the CDC. Why don't we have to go to an institution to classify something as an illness when we could just do the research ourselves about telomere elongation?
yeah.
Here's the thing. If I could live another 50 years and be that much better of a comic before I die,
Fair enough. I didn't think of that.
there
but yeah, fair
are
enough.
things in this life I don't want to just die like a flash in the pan because, to be honest, I do not have the guitar skills of Kurt Cobain.
But the problem is we could all die at any time.
Good point, valid, but you know that you have a limited capability of getting better at something. Like, you know you only have so many open mics to go to better yourself. If you could go to like 100 more open mics or 100 more shows and do that much better, I mean,
Yeah, I hope by the time I'm fucking 90, I'm not going to open mics anymore.
No,
if
of
I'm
course
still doing
not.
Comedy, like, that'd be awful.
but I don't want to quit comedy because I'm 90 years old.
No.
I want to die doing what I love.
But
I have a sick fascination with dying on stage. I'm not gonna lie.
I just don't believe fucking, what's his face? 2 comics that happened to, like, in the last, like, few years.
We'd have to look them up.
Yeah.
The names are going to be right here. That's the magic of editing. I could just put 2 names right here.
Wait. When you were saying before you're going to draw the graph, can you draw shit? Like, can you trace shit?
I don't really want to because then I'm going to have to find this part in the... What do you want to draw? You're not going to be the Disney Channel. You're drawing a dick, aren't you?
I am drawing
God
it.
I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to
I
have to...
think this is where the line is.
I'm going to have to
out.
YouTube a tutorial just... I mean, it's a good thing it's a fixed position,
Yeah.
but it's... Hold on. You remember, like, Disney Channel? Where you're like,
Yep.
I'm Gage Moron. And this is Disney Channel. Dun, 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 dun.
And then we do that dumb, like, little, like,
Oh, man.
let's
Simpler
watch a
times.
Disney Channel
Do you ever see those
movie.
TikToks where like somebody actually traces where their finger was?
Yeah, I
It's
love
like some
that shit.
squiggly, shitty. Dude, isn't that crazy? Like, oh man, Disney is such an evil corporation.
Totally. Every time I see someone who's bio on Tinder, it's like, I'm just a Disney girl. Nope.
Dude,
No
but
one. Same with Harry Potter.
but see, isn't
Any
that
of that
crazy?
juvenile garbage.
I thought they were gonna say even with all that Jewish. Anyways,
Why does everyone always go to the Jewish thing?
because
Like,
you stroke your beard with a maniacal fascination on the cabal of elite society.
it's just wealthy people. Most of them aren't even Jewish. Like, most of them are fucking like Anglo.
Yeah, the Build-A-Bears or whatever.
Build-A-Bears. The Build-A-Bear group. Dude, they got a bucket full of hearts. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes.
their secrecy in their stuffing.
What you don't understand about them is that they worship these evil gods and they sacrifice their children to these
is
gods.
Like Alex Jones' ignorant cousin, fucking Eric Jones.
How's it going, Alex?
The Build-A-Bear groups with the all of elite society controlling
Cryptozoology. That's what it is, cryptozoology.
controlling cryptographs. They control the crypto rings from Christmas Story.
You ever read the Da Vinci Code? You know, they got the cryptogram box thing. It's like
Brown.
that. Yeah. But like crazy, like, and like
Eat
an
more
elitist. Yeah, eat more.
Drink more Ovaltine.
It's just an advertisement, just like everything else.
Damn, dog.
This podcast brought to you by Royal Typewriters. The Royal Typewriter Company is located in Hartford, Connecticut on New Park Avenue. It's now a Stop and Shop.
Rest and rip.
Take paradise, put up a Stop and Shop.
Take paradise, put up a Stop and Shop. Hey, Peapod, delivering groceries to senile individual.
Or if you're in Georgia, a Giant.
That's true. Once you
Yeah.
get past the Mason-Dixon, they go from Stop and Shop to Giant.
Yep.
Damn, doggy. I remember I was in Maryland and I saw a Giant with the same logo. I'm like, you steal my...
Yeah,
You're
right?
not my dad.
It's just
Like-
calling up Stop and Shop like, yo, man, they stole your
They
shit.
stole
I'm watching
your
him right
shit,
now.
dog.
He's driving down the highway.
No. We did a licensing deal.
Yeah.
It's oh, dude. By the way, when you said that thing about Bud, back in our very first episode, you said that Czech beer Budweiser was
Budvar.
Budvar, and it was taken. It reminds me that any Kit Kats made in the European Union are made by Nestle chocolate and not Hershey's. So
Really?
in America, when Kit Kats are made, it's made by Hershey chocolate. in the European Union, like England and like Europe.
Oh shit.
It's Nestle chocolate that Kit Kats are made of.
And they just
including-
license them the name.
Yes, dude, it's made with different chocolate.
No fuck. Wow, I gotta try those. Are they
And
better?
well, here's the thing: is
It's not Mars.
Kit Kats in America, Kit Kats in England, child's play. What you want to do? Go to Japanese Kit Kats. Japan, like Dan Carlin says, the Japanese are like any other society, just more so. In his 6-hour each episode, Supernova of the East, he's now on part 4, which is an incredible series. Anybody who's into history podcasts,
He's a hardcore history guy, right?
hardcore history,
Yeah.
Dan Carlin.
It's a good
Japan
podcast.
makes matcha,
I love matcha.
cherry,
What?
violet, coffee, dark chocolate, light chocolate, milk chocolate, Vietnamese coffee. You look up Japanese Kit Kats. They have literally every fucking flavor that you could possibly imagine.
They have shrimp flavor because they have mixed shrimp flavor chips, and I don't fuck with that shit.
I mean, they might, but that's not what I'm saying.
Gross. I don't understand that. Why do they make artificial
Dude,
shrimp?
isn't it crazy that we bombed Japan twice and now we have hentai?
From the ashes, all of these tentacle monsters are rising. I'm not
no joke, dude.
surprised.
I mean, think about what would happen in Japan's ancient, like, feudal history if there weren't 2 bombs that absolutely decimated their society, made them build back from nothing.
They would have taken over the world.
With Casio.
Japan is like better Germany.
Oh,
Like,
way better. I mean, Germany makes what? Good knives and good
Yeah.
cars. You know what Japan makes? Everything else.
Yeah, literally everything good.
Japan is so good at technology. Nintendo fucks up dude. Name one bad Nintendo system. I'll wait.
I mean, I don't like the Wii.
Shit, creates autism. I can't lie. That's a stolen joke. That was a stolen joke. There was another comic. He said that. joke. I think it was Chris Warren, where he said that like all Nintendo systems.
That
give
sounds
kid
familiar.
autism.
I don't know who.
They're like, I might have been racist while I was playing Xbox Live, but at least I wasn't on the spectrum because I played the Wii. Stolen joke. Not my thing. Not my thing. But no. But you know, Nintendo started off as a trading card company.
I did not know
They
that.
had a glow up, man. Now the Nintendo Switch is here. It's kind of crazy. But what were we talking about? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'm very optimistic about society. I like dystopian, futuristic sci-fi novels, and I like the dark parts of
Yeah.
humanity. But then it's like sometimes you just catch people in like the quiet moments of like human resolve, of just like 2 people talking and just like 2 unlike people talking about shit, and then you just catch them laugh. Every time I see someone laugh, I'm like, humanity's still around.
And then you just hear him say like, "Hey, can we be friends?"
Yeah.
And just like that.
Episode 2 in the bag.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Damn, what a good way to
That was a
wrap,
good one.
doggy.
Hell
That
yeah.
was a good one, man.
Oh, we're doing a thing. All right. Well, I don't know what that is.
Me neither. I'm sobering up now. But this has been Can We Be Friends? We've talked a lot about a lot of stuff today, but if it made you laugh just a little bit, please share with your friends. Because we need to spread this positivity. We need to spread optimistic nihilism.
Always want more. No, not optimistic.
We need to spread our legs and open up our buttholes to happiness.
Yep.
It's not gay if it makes you happy.
I'm Mike Massaro.
My name is Gage Morrow. Thank you so much for watching.
Take care.
God bless. Allah bless.
Amen.
Buddha bless.
Bless. Everyone bless.
Everyone bless.
All the religions of the world.
the
All the colors of the earth and all
spaghetti
the
flying spaghetti
peoples.
monster bless.